All right. Live a little bit early today. Actually, at an old coffee shop at my parents, where my parents live, and yeah, just switching it up a bit. So went and visited my family, and now we're here, and we're gonna talk some web development. Last week, what did I do? It's mostly just read Sarah Drasner's book on SVG animation, and so with this, I can read about 50 pages a day. I'm almost done. And it's helped so much at work because I have a designer that handed me a comp with some animation, SVG animation, and that was like a perfect primer to like get me ready. So exciting stuff. What are you guys doing today? I also actually have a friend coming in today, so not today, tomorrow. Gonna do some hanging out. Something I don't do very often, so this table's like super wobbly. Sorry about the wobble here. We'll try to keep the hands off. Let's see. There we go. And a bit of a streak there. Now, if you're going to watch this at a later time, feel free to leave a comment or question, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. It's a little slow today. It's starting at what, 8:30? I know I got to get these times down. I just haven't been able to. Let's see how the chat's going by. We got one in chat. Appreciate it. This keyboard is crazy weird though. On this table, it's kind of crazy.
Let's go there for you, sorry. Like,
Let's see. Give it a few minutes. See if we can get more people here. But it's a quiet start. So we can't put that down or something. Yeah. It's kind of sparse today. So, things on the horizon for next week. Why don't we talk about that while I wait for more people to come? Things I got going on, finish up Sarah Drasner's book, and then finish up Front-End Masters, Node.js, and the full stack path. I don't know if I can finish it in 1 week. Yeah, I could probably finish it in 1 week. Just have to work really hard, which I can do. It's not too bad. Oh, and I gotta make a course, huh? Not a course, I gotta make a review on this. Maybe it's a bit too early. Interesting. Well, it hasn't been the best start off. It's what, 4 minutes in, and no one here. Super quiet today. Out of my element. Hello, one here. Thanks for coming. Waiting to just kind of get the chat moving. Oh man. What's up, Boyer? Thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. What are you up to today? I'm just getting ready to kind of hang out. After like doing that full like 2.5 months, or yeah, 2.5 months worth of web development, I am taking it a little bit easier, but still doing SVG animation. I had a designer give me a comp that needs some animation. Put that in there. Pretty cool stuff. What's up, David? Thanks for coming by. What do you think of the new coffee shop? It's not exactly new. It's been here for a long time, but it's new. But these people are new owners, and it looks a lot different. And it's in Pocatello, so not where we're normally having our thing. Yeah, go ahead, Mohammed. That's what we're here. Go ahead and let me know what your question is. Or you haven't been here for a while, by the way. Thanks for coming by. Sorry, let's see if we can get this thing to stop wobbling. I think it's just like the position of the hinge makes it kind of wobbly. Guarv says, in using JavaScript on other websites, console is legal? Yeah, you can use your console. Or using JavaScript on others' websites. I mean, it depends on what you're going to do with that JavaScript, right? Are you sending like an AJAX request or something? They should be able to copy. It's on them to compensate that. But yeah, don't be doing anything illegal. But I use JavaScript all the time to do some like console stuff, to find stuff on the page, to edit it. So, I mean, just be smart, man. And it's different in every country, I'm sure. Muhammad says, is it worth it to learn React Native when Flutter's in the market? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I've heard both. It's worth to learn React Native when Flutter is in market. Well, what are your goals? Are you a web developer or are you a mobile developer first? So if I was a web developer, I would think React first and then learn how to use that with your web for web development, because that's what I do. And then I'd transfer that skill over to React Native. I wouldn't necessarily go to something like Flutter because I'm already using React Native, or I'm already using React. So might as well take some of those skills over to React Native. So I can use things like Redux and stuff. Yeah, good question. Good question. David, what you got going on, man? What you got going on today? For me, it's just hanging out, taking a break, being with family. Maybe do some SVG animation, read up on that, finish Sarah Drasner's book if I have time. Barb says, why are the demands of websites, why they are demands of websites when there's already cross cores, a website on the internet? I'm sorry. Can you rephrase that for me? And I'll try my best to answer it. Sudan says, hi, Ricky, I'm 36. I'm 30, almost 31. Is it too late to look for a career in web development? Well, think of it like this. It's really about where are you at in life right now? What are your responsibilities? So like if you're married or you have children to take care of, boy, it's going to be tough. But I did it for a while, but I had to have some help from the family and some support. Well, I wasn't married, so I didn't really need the support. Where are you at, Sudan? Also, like geographically, is it a popular thing? Can you go to a boot camp? That's one thing. Like coding boot camp, it's going to be cheaper than college, but there's not a guarantee. Neither is college, and it takes less time. If you're starting on your own, that's fine too. Just know it's going to take a lot of work. But if you're single or you have someone that can support you, whether with like time or whatever, then yeah, you can do it. It's not an age thing. It's more of a responsibility and kind of like a hunger thing. So like, how much do I want it? David says, I got to fix the vinyl siding of my house. No programming today. Hey, no programming either. No programming over here. There are already millions of websites on the internet. So why are there demands of websites? Because there's not very good websites, and there's not a lot to. Sure, there's a lot of plug and plays like Wix or Squarespace or WordPress, but to get that customized stuff, that's hard. And that doesn't mean that they're always going to sell. Some of them do though. Websites are in demand because like the online landscape is in demand, right? The biggest thing is making sure you hit the mobile market. So yeah, mobile's where it's at, man. But I mean, think about it. If you want to see something, what do? You look on Google. If you want to show something with someone, what do? You share a video. You share something online. And the websites are becoming more less sites and more apps. So they're getting a lot more functionality to them, where you can pull in data from other places. You can start displaying different things like, hey, I need to order something. You can order through a website or a progressive web app, or you can do a lot of conditional logic there, or search for things. All good stuff. Good question. Good question. Keep the questions coming, guys and gals. Sujan, let me know if that answers your question, or if you have any more questions that you'd like me to answer, or any clarification questions. Leave them there. That's what we're here for, is to ask questions and to get the conversation going. Sujan says, I'm based in Asia and I'm a self-learner, all good things. Actually, I've been learning via online tutorials since 2015. Sounds promising, but I've never had confidence to break into the web development industry. And here's the thing, you probably never will. I never really did, but guess what? I did it anyway. It's like, hey, I don't know. I took a job that I could do that got me into the field, which was social media marketing and WordPress development. And, I did a little bit of custom CSS, a little bit of HTML, very little jQuery. And that was my first in. Then I went to another job where I did mostly SAS and HTML, did some web design too, and jQuery. Oh, and HubSpot, a ton of HubSpot actually. It was a HubSpot CMS, and some of their stuff. So you just build up to it. You can do it. You can do it, Sujan. Especially if you've been learning since 2015. But what does that mean, right? How long are you learning? How much are you learning? Sujan says, so what do you say? What should be my first step from here? First step is to take note of all of your current experience. You've been learning via online tutorials since 2015. Is that in web development specifically? I would first do a full project on your own for yourself. And the easiest project to get motivated to do is a portfolio. Even if you don't have projects there yet, you can set it up. That's going to give you confidence to say, okay, I made this website from end to end, at least in front end or whatever, and I put it up. That should give you some confidence to go out there and start doing websites. Does that answer your question, Sujan? Let me know. What part of Asia, if you're okay with me asking? If not, that's fine. Sujan says, I've completed a few courses on Codecademy, Codecamp, SoloLearn, Udemy, nada. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Sultan Tech? Yeah, I would say, yeah, you've got a good background. The hardest thing, though, for anyone, for me included, is going from a tutorial where you have this nicely fits here, or this does that, it does exactly, or you have something to follow, right? And then doing it myself, I would say try to take one of those projects or something that you've done online and start to modify it or put in your own stuff. Oh, here's an image. Well, let me put in my own image, or let me put in my own text here, even if it's relevant. And even if it's the same template, but you start putting in your same stuff, or maybe I'll change the font. Maybe I'll change the background color, something like that. That's probably the best way to go up, because you're still using those training wheels, but you're starting to switch things out and have a clearer context. Now you're doing it for real. I had to learn this for me to get this project up. Curtis Davis says, do you recommend Pluralsight? Yes. It depends on where you're at in your career and what you do. So if you're a full stack or a back-end developer, Pluralsight, bar none, and a professional one, bar none. I think it's one of the best. If you're a front-end developer and you're a professional, front-end masters. If you're starting out as a front-end developer, Team Treehouse. For anything that you need specific stuff or specialized stuff, or you need to know it really well, get a course on Udacity. That's highest rated. I think I covered most of them. LinkedIn Learning is good too, and it's fine. Professional. It's a professional level, but if you're like newer in your field, they usually have courses for that, but they also go like way up. So. Good questions. Good question, guys. Oh, I don't know about this chair. I'm gonna have to stand up. My back hurts. Guar says, I first web design in Figma, then developed using the MERN stack. Ooh, that's a joke. I think he meant front end. I'm planning to make a dating site. Is it a good project? It might be a little bit ambitious, but I mean, maybe not. It depends on what you're doing. Like, are you doing the actual like everything, or are you just making it look like a dating site? You know, if you're making it look like a dating site, then yeah, you can have your cards. You know, you can do all that. That's a good project. Depends on your skill level. Take rest, mate. Thank you for the valuable suggestion. No problems, Tujan. My pleasure. I just got up. I'm not ready to go rest yet, but I appreciate it. Everything. Yeah, Gaurav, that's a bit too much, I think. Start one chunk at a time. And the thing is like, Gaurav, are you looking to get into development right now? That might be a little bit ambitious. But, you know, my suggestions aren't absolute. I'm just saying, like, that's a lot to take in. And if you're not like a professional in the industry yet, I would try to focus on a specific, not a specific stack, a specific part of web development first, and then either build that out, continue learning that, or focusing on that skill. And it's hard because, you know, we want to make all these cool things. It just takes time. Think about getting into the industry first. So back-end developer, learn all that data structure algorithms and, you know, how C# works, or Node or whatever, right? And then start to learn that really well, and then you can add the front end, or vice versa. And so yeah, the thing I'm struggling with right now is I didn't get that full stack done through Front End Masters, and I have a course by Tony Alicia on Node.js that I'm almost finished up with. I know it, but I gotta finish it up before I dig into making my own APIs or anything like that. Curtis Davis, should I sign up on GitHub now? Yeah, actually you should, even if you don't have any projects, because that just means there's one less step of resistance, right, to setting one up. So even if you're not ready to put code on there, you can, and you've made that easier. You know, you've removed that pain point. You're just like, oh, well, at least it's set up now. I can just learn Git and learn how to push my project up, which can be kind of a pain in the ass. So, yes. Although if you look at my GitHub, I haven't posted for like a long time. So I use YouTube. YouTube's my GitHub, where I can post my projects or what I'm learning. Made me feel guilty there. Need to update that GitHub, yo.
Yeah. Well, she should just for her house.
Need to upload that GitHub. No, need to update that GitHub. Let's take a look. What we got here? No more questions? Gotta get that caffeine. I'm kind of struggling right now. Kurt says, do you TFS or Rally? Team 4-star? No, I think it's Team Foundation Server or Rally. Let me say this, I've used TFS before, but not in the actual sense of how it should be used. Yeah, but it's not my favorite thing to use, but it's probably because I'm not using it the way it was designed to use. But that's all I can really say about that. But yes, I've used TFS, but not Rally. Or at least I don't think I've used Rally. Jira, I like Jira. That's a good one. So Trello's okay. Starting to get packed up in here, which is good, because then I can talk to you guys and I don't sound like a crazy person. And well, you know, they're distracted. It's warming up here though. It's nice and warm. What is the temperature outside? It's
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Have a good day.
23 degrees outside. I guess it's just wishful thinking. It's not that warm. For Idaho, it's gotten warm. So keep those questions coming. Keep them coming. What up, Neil? Any opinion on Microsoft direction of .NET? I do not. I'm sorry, I just don't use it. So .NET is good, but that's all I can say. I mean, I don't know anything else other than that. I used classic ASP at my old job. That's about all I have to say. Neil, what's going on today? Oh, I'm bringing the beard back, guys. More like I got lazy shaving. I'm like, yeah, I'll keep it. See what happens. See if it doesn't look better. Study Jung. Sorry, Neil retracted that message. I don't think he meant to put that as a lifer. Studying JS. Oh, you're studying JS. I thought you were like, it's like a library, like studying.js. Nice. What are you using to study JS, Neil? Are you doing MDN? Just let me know. Getting crazy up in this place. Oh, it's nice and toasty. Sujan says, I know there's no perfect time to start, but I always feel like I'm not ready enough to apply for a job. Well, then make a project first. I have made some static websites for my friends, so that's good. Make a portfolio first. That's the first thing. Make a static portfolio for yourself and also get your resume, like your developer resume up. And then you'll feel like you're ready because you'll have, like I was telling Curtis here about creating a GitHub account. There's going to be less friction when you see a job that you can apply for. You're going to say, oh, I have this portfolio. I have this resume ready. At least I can just put it out there. You know, it's going to be much easier to apply when you have those things taken care of first. And then continue doing what you're doing, even if you don't feel ready. Neil says, Traverse C Media Modern JS course. Bought Dylan's course, Algo course last night. Dope. I heard Dylan's Algo course is pretty dope. Yeah, that man's been killing it. Traverse Media, he's been doing okay too. I was just telling my parents actually, I went and visited him. I was like, oh, one day I'll be famous just like this man. Probably not, but I'm just happy he's in the space because he's helping so many people out. He's on fire. Brad's on fire. So happy to have him around the space. Happy to be in the same space as both of those guys. Yeah, man. Maybe sometime I'll be able to do some. We'll be able to link up with one of those guys. Let me know in the comments if you think that'd be a good idea. Reach out to either Brad or Dylan or both. And if so, what would we cover? What topic? I don't know. I might be able to. I know I can probably snag Dylan, but I don't know. You guys will have to come up with something good if you want to get Brad on the channel or get me on Brad's channel. Sujan says, do you think a novice can start with freelancing? No. I mean, yes, but here's the thing. Everyone goes through that. I went through that. It's like, hey, why don't I just freelance if I can't get my first job? Which is fair enough. You can do a couple of, I've done a couple of those, right? And it helps get you experience. Definitely do that, but do not plan to be a freelancer from the get-go. It's definitely better to rest on the shoulder of giants at first when you have a company or something, because they have all the infrastructure with billing, marketing, management, and you're going to learn from them really fast because they've gotten a lot of the kinks out. Or if they haven't, you'll learn what not to do. Do that for a year or two at the least a year. Do it for 2 or 3 years and you'll be ready to go. So that's what I think. That's what I think I would do if I were you. But by that time, I'd probably have a job. I mean, that's what happened. So I work as a senior dev. That's such a pejorative term. So what up, Joseph? Joseph's going to hold it down. A senior dev position at my current job. But, that's all over the place, what that actually means. So really it's more like be independent and get the job done on your own. That's what I think. That's like the broadest of senior developer titles I can think of, and be able to teach others for sure. Josie says, Ro, you consider yourself an engineer, or do I consider myself an engineer? No, not really. I don't know. I just think that's such an academic term. And while I'm all about education, I've kind of fell away from academia. Plus, I probably, if I study my data structures and algorithms seriously, which I can do this year, then I'll be able to be like, yeah, I'm an engineer. And I know that's kind of a dumb thing to say, but once I have some more computer science under my belt, I'll be comfortable calling myself that. But right now I'm a developer. So that's what I consider myself. Good question. Curtis says, would you consider teaching for a boot camp course? Yeah, I would consider teaching. It depends on what they want and how much prep I have, of course, but I feel like I have enough knowledge about self-education, and also in web development that I would. Yes, actually. David says, Ricky, has any of your family members expressed interest with learning to program? My cousin has, after he's been watching some of my videos. And he asked about Dev Mountain. So I was able to give him a little bit of information about Dev Mountain. Joe says, I call myself an engineer because I build things. Yeah, I mean, it's really just a term, right? I think I am, but I'm not going to call myself that. So, although I probably should, get that raise. But yeah, so my cousin has expressed interest in programming, but immediate family, no. And that's fine because they're all grown. My sister's like 22 or something. Yeah, my sister's 22 and she's doing her degree in pharmacy, and my brother already, is an established professional. So no one else, although he uses a command line, I think, at work, like a Unix system, but not much going on there. Know a couple of commands, that's it. Oh. I'm all out of caffeine. Keep them questions coming in. Keep them questions coming in. A little bit tired here. Masuko, yeah, you're live. You know what? Live today, live on Saturdays. Try my best anyway. Try my best to stay live on Saturdays. What's going on with you? Oh man, I can't see your name. Masruko? Oh, try my best. Curtis says, what do you think about SDK on AWS or Square? Like boilerplate kits. They're good. Especially if it's on AWS, man. AWS has been good enough for Netflix. So AWS is good enough for me. However, AWS is not beginner friendly. So you get in there and just like this massive list of like different applications you can use. Square, I haven't used Square myself, but I don't have any opinions on it because I haven't used it. Square, is it the web design stuff? Squarespace? Let me know. Squarespace is good too for small businesses, honestly. And it depends on your developer, but you can make some good stuff. I've always said this in the past, but I had a client that did nearly 10 times after we redesigned the site, and we did it with Squarespace. So, say what you want about those pre-builders, but if you have someone that knows development and is able to utilize those, you can come out with fantastic results for small businesses. Yeah, they went from doing 80,000 to like over 1 million. So, yeah. Anubis says, hello all. Ricky, what do you think about contributing to open source projects as a beginner to gain more experience? It's fine. It's not what I would do, but that's just a personal thing. I would learn as much until I can build my own project from piece to piece, but it's a good idea. and you'll probably learn a lot more, like, about collaborative spaces and working in teams and stuff, and doing get, fetch, and pull and push requests. No, pull requests. No, push requests. Things like that. I knew this. Oh no, we already read that one. Joseph says, "Man, that AWS boilerplate is pretty good. I like the way that they give you the monolithic SDK, so you can just set them up anywhere." Oh, Curtis shared the docs for Square, so if you guys want to check it out, it's in the comments. Sujan says, "Do you think web development will still be a lucrative career in the near future? I feel like the CMS and AI will take over most of the jobs." It's going to evolve. That's the thing about web development. It evolves all the time. So your skills are going to have to evolve. If you think about front-end web development about 10 years ago, I mean, a lot of it was positioning, CSS, HTML. Of course, people thought it was easy. Now it's like real, development programming. It's not just making things display, doing a couple of AJAX requests, but it's like dynamic. You got to do some programming in there, sorting, filtering. Like, you're not doing that on the back end anymore. You're doing that on the front end. Performance is a real deal. User experience is a real deal. So your skills are going to either have to increase or change a little bit. I think user experience is where it's at, because it doesn't change as much. You're always going to need them, and the foundation of user experience doesn't change as much, and you're always going to need someone to do that, and it's always going to be in demand, because it's one of those things that it's very hard to take over and make into a cookie cutter form. David says, "How much JavaScript do you believe is enough to start learning React or Angular?" Ooh, that's a good question. JavaScript. Oh, you should be able to know ES6 or next ECMAScript, so 6, 7, 8. Functional programming, a little bit of that, which is like map, filter, maybe reduce, and how to do arrays and stuff. So if it was me, I would do it until I've gone through some algorithms myself and have been able to actually make sense of them. Not data structures, you don't have to, although it's very helpful. And go through some books like Kyle Simpson's JavaScript books. But definitely have some of that, learn how the compiler works. I mean, my understanding of React and JavaScript in general just went up. It's always changing, right? So after the front-end masters, I have a ton more knowledge about JavaScript and how it works, about all the different things that you can do. And because of that, my React knowledge went up way, way, way up too. So funny thing is I haven't used a lot with State right now, though. I have this project, and I have using mostly global State with React that's given by different plugins, and local State I've used in one spot. But it's nice to know, rather than just trying to make everything State or how or why and all that stuff. I don't think that answered your question, David. Let me know if that answers your question. Oof, I gotta stand up. This thing's killing my back. Sorry about the, looks like there's an earthquake happening here. It just, wobbly table, wobbly laptop. It's 2 years experience to move from junior dev to mid dev. It really depends on you. It's not just years of experience, it's what you're doing within those years. So without a doubt, you're probably going to get better, at 2 years, regardless of whether you're doing it intentionally or not. But are you continuously learning? How much time are you putting in out of work? I would think with natural progression and a little bit of studying outside of work, yeah, 2 years is enough. But if you're really grinding hard and then working hard, you can probably move that up, the likelihood much farther. Or at the very least, get better at your job, which if you haven't moved up, you need to do anyway. So what's the harm? I think you have some good questions here, Curtis. Marshukral I'm just gonna call you Marsh, man. I'm sorry. Marsh, how did you master designing? I didn't. I know some design, but actually before I ever started web development, I wanted to be in marketing, which I am in the marketing department, but still, not the same. So I learned graphic design, I learned how to draw, I learned about the history, I watched documentaries, I read a lot of books, I did a lot of drawing, I did a lot of research, and then I still do. You know, I'll still look at UX. I did a lot of UX last year, a ton of UX courses, and started moving on. However, moving forward, I want to actually dive a little bit more into some of the tools like Adobe XD and learning, well, I know Photoshop, but maybe cleaning it up a bit, maybe just designing some more. But I don't think Photoshop's the thing to do it in. I've designed in Photoshop and it's a pain. David says, I didn't expect a straightforward answer, but it now gives me a general direction to work towards after this semester of school. Yeah, will do, Marsh. I will call you Marsh. Yeah, David, I would also do this. I would dive into React right now, because that's another great thing you can do. You're going to find out where your holes are when you dive into React. I should have said that first, or Angular. So if you feel brave enough, if you feel like you have some JavaScript, go do that and find out where your weaknesses are and go back, and then you'll know exactly what you need to do, or look it up right then and just know it's going to be slow and plodding. Fierce Deity, Ricky, startups or regular company to work for? It depends on where you're at, and it depends on what, I mean, it's totally subjective, and every piece is different. If you're a startup, if you're going to work for a startup, you've got to take into a lot of things into account, like, you know, who are they backed up? Like, are they well funded? How are they treating their employees now? What's the compensation? What are the working conditions? What is the product? And you got to make a calculation there. What's your title going to be? How is that going to help your career? Same thing on both sides, but with a bigger company, those are usually less of concerns. It's more like company culture, pay, and stuff. With a startup, it's really like, I think you get a lot more. You'll probably get a lot more experience, but it's much more risky. So I'm gonna say, like, if it's your first job, take it. Either if it's your first job, be willing to take it, or if you have a lot of experience or enough experience where you can do things on your own, or you've built up, you know, an emergency fund, or have enough funds, or are in demand enough to take on a role as a startup and build up your skill, or be able to, you know, grow your career a lot more, then it might be worth doing it at a startup too, as well as long as you have all of your you know, your commitments made. Programming with project. PHP is dying in 2019. Is that a question, or is that just a statement? I don't know, man. I don't know enough about PHP. I don't think it's dying, but I don't know. It's definitely not the preferred language right now, right? But what does that mean? Fierce Deity. I currently work for a startup, never worked for a company. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, if that's the first job you can get, do it, and you can do it. But yeah, I think if you can get a little bit of experience everywhere, go ahead. But only when it's the right time. If it's like an awesome company, then stay there, man. Stay there and get really good. Fierce Deity says, last time I was on your live stream, I was just a guy studying. Now I'm working at a startup building a PWA version of their desktop site. Yeah, boy. So yeah, do that. That's excellent. That's very good. PWA, print working application. Hold on, my brain's not working right now. Public Works Administration? No. Tell me what the acronym means right now. Oh, Progressive Web App. What am I thinking here? Duh. Okay, so good, man. Get that manifest JSON file in there. My hell. I promise I do have a job. I do know what I'm talking about. Cool. Very nice. Actually, Fierce Deity, I made my own progressive web app when I made my thing. And by that, I mean, I just put the stuff in the manifest JSON file to make it look like one. So my portfolio is that. So you can see my old logo right here. You click it. I said if you click it, See, it pops up. It's a progressive web app. Amazing. Anyway. Really, it's like a wrapper for the site. So it's kind of cool, Marsh. I don't know if it's that cool because it's once you like learn like what it is. Yeah. The splash screen is what makes it sell. Like, you know, instead of giving business cards, you'd be like, oh yeah, check out my website. You know, if you want to connect, let me just pull it up here. Just hit the button. There's a splash screen. Oh yeah, there you go. It's a progressive web app. Pay me $11,000 an hour. So yeah, and this is old. That's the thing is like this is like a few months, no, like 4 or 5 months old. So I've gotten way better, especially now that I'm like totally steeped in web development. I'm like, I gotta go back there and fix that. Any thoughts on web services? I mean, no, not really. I haven't dug into web services enough to really have an opinion. I've just been strengthening those fundamentals, man. So, so for those of you who want to know, it's a service offered by an electronic device to another electronic device communicating with each other via, I mean, it's the future. The web is the future. The future is now. So get into it. So, yeah, I wish I had a better opinion, Curtis. My apologies. Specific, a web service implemented for a particular technology or brand. W3C web services, huh? So readable file formats such as XML, JSON, oh, like that type of service. Yeah, someone gives you a service, you need them. You know, backend is going to give you some services. You take them and you work with them. I feel like an idiot today. Thanks for all the questions. Yeah, they're great. That's what empowers the web. So exactly, Joseph. That's what I feel like. What am I talking about? Give me some clarification there. We're talking about web services in general. Anyway, next question. Yeah, that's the thing, guys. I need to get sharpened up, dude. I feel so dumb all the time at work. So sometimes it'll be something very easy that is someone that I should know. I don't know. Joseph says, "Have I ever?" Well, you can read the comments. Have I ever killed a man? I only kill projects, bro. That's the only thing I ever kill. Kill them projects. Kill them interviews. Actually, you know, that sound you hear is me killing this live web stream. So yeah, it's true. And we can't argue with that. Joseph, don't be bored. It's Saturday. Imposter syndrome. How do you fight that? Good question. So for me with imposter syndrome, I study my eyes out. I study my brains out, dude. Like sometimes I get that, and that's the only way for me to overcome it. And I study really hard for like 2 or 3 months at a job, and I'll still have it. But that's how I handle it. And at the end of the day, if I do that, I'm usually always like golden because even if you lose your job, you just got super good in like 3 months. So Curtis says, have you ever heard of ABC in web service? Address, bind dev, contract. No. Neil, you never heard anyone say that? You should have seen my video. I did a whole video on imposter syndrome. No, it's good, but you're good. Yeah, imposter syndrome. Study your brains out because you want to hold on to that job, and if you don't, I'm like, well, at least I've gotten a lot more skillful for my next job. Either way, you know, if it didn't work out at the job I'm at now, I worked my brains. I mean, I studied my brains out for 2.5 months and got way better than I had in the previous like 2.5 months, or the previous like 6 months even, because I studied so hard. Do I recommend it all the time? No. Do I recommend you study as hard as I did? No. But it depends on like what your goals are and what you're trying to do. So sometimes I worry about that, like I studied too hard. So I gotta be careful. Good questions, good questions. Keep them coming. Been hanging out for 40 minutes. Marsh says, man, you study that stuff. You study the stuff to pieces. Yeah. I mean, but there's going to come a time where like you've got to stop studying. You got to start implementing, right? So for me, SVGs, I took Sarah Grasner's course on front-end masters just as a background thing. Like I was like, I don't know if I'm going to use this right now, but I'm going to probably have to use it in the future. So I studied that casually, like instead of Netflix or something like that, and replaced all my Netflix and YouTube with front-end masters. And then I read her book. I'm almost done, like 75% of the way done. And that also gave me some more background, but I also had to implement it. But this thing, like I had to do it by force, like it's in the design comp that I had to do for work. And so I got to the point where, okay, we've got the foundational knowledge. Let's go in there and try to find specific solutions. So it gives you a lot of confidence that way. Curtis says, have heard of Fiddler or other tools? Fiddler, is that kind of like CodePen? I can't remember. Or like JSPin. Oh, it's a web debugger. Fiddler free web debugging proxy. The only thing I've ever used is the debug for the console. So getting really good at Chrome DevTools is a great thing to do. Like there's a lot of things you can do in there that a lot of people don't know, myself included. I sound like a walking billboard for front-end masters. You guys got to understand that was literally like my entire life. So my entire life for 2 months. But there's just some things that you can do. Like you can turn it into your IDE. You can also set breakpoints on API calls. There's a color picker tool. There's a palette there that you can use. There's what else is there? You can see how much of your JavaScript is being used versus not used when it's loaded. I just get really good at Chrome. I know there's not a ton of stuff out there, but there's 2 courses, like debugging JavaScript and like learning the Chrome developer tools on front-end masters that are great at whatever skill level. Of course, the better skill level you have is going to be easier to use, but that's what you need to get good with first and foremost. Sorry about the shakiness of this thing. I gotta probably find a better spot to sit. Oh. I really like this jacket. So if you keep on seeing me wear it, that's why. Just trying to fill the void. Listen, if someone's got a question, let me know. Let me know. I think I need a cat, guys. I've just been thinking about it. That's just a random thing not related to web development. Well, it kind of is, right? Because in like every single tutorial, it's not really a good tutorial unless there's cats. So I guess it will help me become a better developer. Not guess, I know it will. Joseph, where are them questions, Todd? Oh, I gotta say, just a confession. I'm a little agitated that I haven't been able to get as many videos out because I just had a crazy week. So not doing so much other than reading Sarah Grasner's book, which is like over 200 pages. So that's fine. It kind of makes me step. Do I prefer Dice, Glassdoor, or Indeed? That's a good question. I prefer Indeed. That's how I've gotten a lot of my leads and stuff, is through Indeed. Any job that I've been applied for in the past for web development is all through Indeed. So my first job, Indeed. Second job, Indeed. Third job, Indeed. This job, the recruiter reached out to me. So hopefully I don't have to use that, but I learned how to use Indeed a lot, and I still use it to like see where the industry is leading. So I just learned how to use it. So like you can, what if I want to be a principal engineer or something like that? What are the things that companies are hiring for right now? Indeed makes it easy. Dice a while back had a terrible commercial about some girl that could like code in Arabic, and they made her like a superhero or something, and it was just terrible. And ever since then, I've not been a fan of Dice. So shallow, yes, but like if you can't get your commercial right, you're probably not gonna be able to get my application right, and you're gonna mess this up. I did have someone actually talk to me from Dice when I was first starting out, still at my bank job. Those were the days. Also, Dice sent me a package in the mail that I never picked up. My brother has, so of course I got like not Dice, Indeed. So, all right. Does anyone else have any more questions? If not, I think we're gonna wrap this thing up. I'll give you a couple minutes to get those questions in, and then gotta get the rest of my day started. So, yeah, got things going on. Casey, tired? Yeah, I'm tired too, man. Change your screen name. Kept your profile pic. Thanks. So, am I tired? Is that a question, or are you tired? This is just my face now. This is just how I look. What happens when you get older? Thanks. Thanks, Casey. Yeah. I'm not tired. I'm wide awake. I'm not tired. Look at me. Never been more alive. Great Infoker says, I'm so tired of being tired. Well, take a nap. That's literally like take a nap, take a break, refresh, take some time off. That's what I'm doing right now. I mean, I'm still studying, but not like before because I was tired. Refresh after a week and go back and hit it hard. So anyway. We almost ready to wrap this thing up or what, boys and girls? Oh, and by the way, if you're watching this at a later time, of course, leave me a question, comment. I'll get back to you, but it just takes a little bit of time. And if you like the content, give me some thumbs up. Helps me out, helps the channel out. Appreciate it. Casey says, the longer I code, the more I realize you can't code 24/7. Absolutely. Or if you do, it's going to be the most unproductive code ever. Well, leave me a comment. Let me know. Oh, we got some more here. Marsh said, how much hours did you sleep a day while going through front-end masters? About 6 hours a day, maybe. Some days 4, anywhere from 6 to 4. So, and that was almost every day, including weekends. Anyway, good questions. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for hanging out. See you next time.